I do love messing about in cars. Today, whenever you're watching it, I'm deciding to take the hazard switch out of a Fiesta, because even though it failed the MOT, it shouldn't have done. I'll just show you why. So here's a hazard switch. Doesn't work very well, so it failed the MOT because it didn't work. And a quick bit of research found you just need to press it harder. Now that should not fail an MOT. In my research, I found that there are a couple of different types of buttons with different pins on, so rather than just order one randomly, and obviously it isn't great, I'd give it an advisory if it was me. It isn't great that failed. It's only about £8 for a new button, so I'm going to take it out and have a new one in there. But rather than order one, I'm going to take it out and see what the connections are behind it. I've already started taking this centre piece out. I thought I'd try and give a bit of a close-up on it. I saw a video that was a bit difficult to see. First of all, there are 2 pins here. You can take this whole section out, but I thought I'd try and do it without taking the whole section out. See if it's that difficult. It isn't. Then you've got 2 7mm in here, which, I'm pushing against the plastic here. How much that's going to help when it comes to doing it one-handed with the camera, I do not know. Behind, you can see there are little holes. I've got my hand in front of the light. There's a hole there and a hole there. That's just a T20 hex. Go on, focus. Oh, there you go. T20 focus. T20. I used a nice long extension on that. That came out easy enough. So now we'll just pop that. That's not going to work, is it? That could be out enough, but I don't know because I'm using it one-handed. Oh, yeah, I should probably get on them tripod type things. I do have one. Just whether it's any good or not. No, that's not out yet. Right, I'll come back to you. Right, so next up, I've got those 2 bolts out. They come out of there. Where are they? So they're little number 7s. This ended up, I pushed it up to get the second one out here. It actually popped out, so it wasn't as difficult as I thought to take that bit out. But you can see they're on, well, they're like big metal clips. There's another 2 at the back there. I don't know if you can see those. Let's get the torch. There you go. So you can see there are 2 others. Where is it? Focus. There you go. In there. I don't need to take them out, so I won't bother. Then there's a loud noise next. You come around the front here and start to pull this part up, and yeah, it made a very satisfying, but probably shouldn't be satisfying noise as that lifted out. That's catching slightly. Then behind the connections you've got, let's have a butcher's. I lost a torch. There we go, magnetic. There's not a lot of magnetic stuff, funny enough. Where are we? In behind here, we have a clip which looks like it. Go on. There we go. So it looks like it's a tab there. There you go, and it is. That's then the whole section out. So where's that switch gone? That's the switch there. What do you reckon holds that in then? It's got to be them 2, right? Let's have a look. Look like 20s again. That's very loose. Very loose, almost finger tight. Nope. What do you reckon? I should get like one of them head cams maybe, so I can actually use both hands. It'd be a lot easier rather than dicking about with one. Right, that's out. Number 2. There's two more similar looking ones. This car's got a few scratches and scrapes already. I'm sure a few more isn't going to matter to this panel. I would take more care. Honest. Right, that's basically given. You can see this large plastic section here. It's giving way, so I reckon that these two, go on, I'm not even left-handed. Trying to do a ratchet with one hand. Anyway, I need to do a proper video on this car. I picked it up yesterday, and I quite like it. It is a nice little motor. I don't know if I'm going to make any profit with it. I just thought it was a car that I wanted to save, and if I hadn't bought it, it would have gone to the scrappy, just because the girl I bought it off didn't want the car. It failed the MOT. It was dangerous, and her dad didn't want to have it. Didn't want to drive it anymore, so she needed to get rid of it. Wanted to get rid of it, and the easiest way to get rid of it was for scrap. You know, it's done a few miles, so that kind of made sense. Right, now, what was that little clicking noise? That sounded like something. This is a bit of plastic. I'm not sure where that's come out of. Right, so that's the whole switch pack, which is nice. I think it's slightly satisfying that there's bits of dust and muck in here that I can take out. Right, where's that coming from then? Actually, that switch out. Oh, my big torch has gone. I'm running on a lack of natural daylight. Well, there's the buttons. I've seen the buttons on their own available, not this whole entire panel. So I must be able to get this out somehow. But I've lost my light. So, I've lost my light, so I have to come back. Alright, so I go inside the house this time. I can't remember the last time I used this. It's a T10, but fortunately, it's the right one, I reckon. There's these 4 little screws here. That's always interesting to see. Look, there's a Ford badge in a Ford car. The amount of times I've seen other manufacturers' parts recently, not new, it's just a quirk that Ford have got. Ford. Right, what we're going to do after this bit, I'm not 100% sure. They're loosened, so finger. They all look like the same length as well. That's always something to be mindful of, because if one of them was a bit shorter than the other, you might end up breaking something on the circuit board behind. Right, that looks to me like, I don't know if you can see, there's little tabs there. That one just clicked. That one clicked. That one. That one. Aha. I heard a little crack of some plastic when I was out in the car earlier. Look. That little tab had gone. Fortunately, there are a fair few others also in this unit, so that one isn't going to really make a big difference, is it? Patience. Patience. Now, they're clicking easy enough. I'm just a little wary. Yeah, they're all coming loose with them buttons on there. What I don't want to do is have it all. It wouldn't be the first time. have everything just completely fly out at me. Let's see, are there springs or is it just clicked in? There you go. Oh, let's get a cloth on that as well. There's a few little bits of dirt and get out. It's just like a rubber squishy pad. Then I'm just going to slip out nice and easy. No. Oh, what do you reckon? Flip it over and it all falls out. No. Something I've learned with car interiors is, sometimes you have to be a bit heavy-handed to get the plastic to break apart. And you need to know when there's that element of, actually there's something holding it in. And that is being held in. There's a bit of a... What are you doing? And why is that? I don't even know. Because that's the circuit board there. And it sounded like it was the electrical, like, you press it hard for it to work. But they're obviously an entire unit. So if that whole thing's gone, why is someone selling just the buttons? How can that stop it from working? But let's find out, shall we? Right, this is gonna get really boring if I'm just gonna sit here and wiggle this around and not get anywhere, backing away. Right, so it turns out this little clip here just pops off, and then you'll be able to, I imagine, pry these tabs to get the button off. I still don't quite understand, from looking at the insides of this, how that can then mean that if you press it harder it works. Really not sure. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I mean, the only reason for taking this off is that I'd read when I was looking at some of the replacement parts on eBay that you need to be careful because of the pins. Now in the back of there's like 6 pins inside here. So I'm going to order the switch and see what comes back and see if it fixes it. But that'll be it for now. So I have to take it apart anyway. Whether it make a difference, we shall see. Right, so I've decided to put a tripod there this time, see if it makes any difference, so I can keep some of the stuff on camera. So what I've done there, I put this back together again, just very loosely. I decided to get some sprayed, what do we call it? Oh. Tripod was a really good idea. It stood up for seconds. So let's go another one. Right, the compressed gas, like a CO2 canister. I decided to bang that onto it and see if the buttons themselves, like on a keyboard or something like that, when you're working in an office, you do get to a situation where sometimes you get a bit of debris stuck under the key. I can't find anything wrong with the panel itself. I know that if you pressed it hard it would work, because I've looked under here. That little clip that was inside of it, that pushes onto a rubber, like a rubber mat. The rubber mat pushes onto the circuit board, so I don't really see any other reason for that to fail. So what I've then done, got a bit of my spray. What's this one? So G-Technic for interior cleaning. I've used that on here as well and a little bit up here. So now we're going to just plug it back in again and see. I've just loosely put the screws in to start with. You can see they're not fully in, just to make sure that they're in the right places, and clicked all that back together again. I'm just talking through myself just to be clear about whether I've done that or not. So let's have a bash of the button. Which way around did it go? Can you still see that on camera? No, so let's turn that around. See if I can get my tripod to fall over again. Just one more time. Right, so it can only go in one way. I do not know which way. that way. There we go. So if you look there for the locating button, the little clip goes to the side, but that's that. So now I'll just shut it. That's the lock unlock. Right, so I don't know if you can hear that on camera, but that's a really just a regular press of the button, not hard or anything. So it's just a very regular press of the button. The hazard's now working again. So what a silly thing to fail on an MOT. Right, how do we put that together again? I noticed when I took this section, or when I went to back on here, there's little clips on here. Unfortunately, that one was still attached to the dash in here. It does just slide, by the looks of it. It slides over there, and it clipped in. So it released itself from that and not actually broken that surround, which was well annoying. It wouldn't be very anything other than cosmetics. It just would be well annoying. I'm going to quickly give it a bit of a dust, because you can get to the nooks and crannies that you wouldn't normally be able to get to when it's in situ. So as I go like that, the button door went in here. So let's take that out. Oh, it's a bit warm. Make sure we've got that. So that all just slid in here. I've got the T10s. So these were the ones that I manually did inside. I just gently did them. So they're going back in again, just to hold. And this is just holding the backing plastic piece to the button section. So that's done. Number 3. I've pretty much decided this is just fun. I don't know why this stuff's fun. Right, tinker. Next one. Where were they? 4. I'm looking for 4. So I've got to admit as well, enough cup holders here. Got 2. Where are we? 2 in the centre. And 1 there where my G-Technic is. So enough cup holders. Right, anyway, so these are the T20s. Let's see if we can't get that in there without dropping it on the floor. Oh, one thing I have done on this car already, the wing mirror, the girl who owned it lived in I can't see from there, I'll show you. The girl who owned the car before, lived on a sort of relatively narrow street, and I believe that both wing mirrors just get knocked every so often. That one, you could access there's like a little cover. Where is it? There's a little cover in the door. You take the cover off and you can get to the screw which holds, or it's a nut that holds the wing mirror on. I thought, that's all right, I'll take that off and see if I can get it to take the whole wing mirror off, because the wing mirror's got a bit of a crack on it. Yeah, look, where is it? So there's a bit of plastic on there. I thought, well, I can take that off, but look, it's a bit on the loose side. And the first time I took the nut out, I was like, be careful, because you'll drop it inside the door and you get to take the whole door card off. So, word of warning to you there, those nuts, they can fall inside the door card. So I went to put it back on for the second time, and it was at that moment I did drop the nut inside the door. So I'm now going to have to remove the door card to get the nut back. Even if I could probably fit it with a different nut, but that would do my nutting. If I then drove the car around and I could hear the nut rolling around inside the door. I think that's all it's going to need, that one, to get the mirror to mount properly. But the electric window, the electric mirror adjustment doesn't work. So I'll just take it off, have a look and see. I think you can see what I'm doing here, just about. It's one of my better ones for actually showing what I'm doing, I think. I need to use the tripod more often. Right. There we go. So now, what have I got left in terms of nuts? I've got 2 of them ones, 2 of them. So, who was paying attention at the beginning? I wasn't. But so that's going back in there. Oh, you can't see. Put that around a bit. See if I can drop it again. That I can't see the actual record button or the stop button's in the way from my camera. Right, that goes in there, and then the whole section. Oh no, this is just minor. I can see dirt on the edges that you definitely couldn't get to. So I'm going to have that out as well. Oh, I love it. That's what you get from many, many miles. Just little bits of dust and dirt getting in between. Right, so I think, let's have a quick look again behind here. We've got the two clips in the bottom that I pointed out earlier, and I don't think, just double checking now, make sure that all works as well. Yeah, they all work. Just checking my flaps work. You can see that on there. Because now is a good idea. If they don't work, so have a look and see why. That works. Those work. Yeah, they're all good. Right, so I've got two big clips, two big metal clips. Can you make them out? They need to click into the dashboards. They have to go in properly. I was just going to check if the hazards are still working nicely before I put it back in. But if anyone is, oh look, so you want to say hello?
Hey guys.
This is going to be my protege. I'm going to do some videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to fix cars.
YouTube.
Yeah. Do you want me to show you how to fix cars on YouTube?
Sure.
Okay. Coming soon, he's going to fix cars.
I'm only 9.
Yeah.
Can I have some sweets?
No. Go on, right, anyway, back to this. I'm just fixing my hazards there, bud. What was I saying before I turned up anyway? Oh, can you see my head? I think I was just saying I was going to check and make sure the hazards were still working. But those of you that are observing will notice that I accidentally pressed them on anyway. Yeah, I thought for a minute they weren't turning on. That'd be another problem to have, wouldn't it? Right. That doesn't seem to line up as easy as I thought it was going to. Why not? Because that looks okay. What am I missing? Something really obvious there, isn't there? Why? That should slide in there, and the bottom should just clip beautifully in. Oh, I'll just press the eject button. I'll tell you what we'll do. Take the key out, and it's the hazards roll. They'll keep working, but right, why are you not? What I'm missing? Can you see anything on there? I'm a little bit away. This is quite peculiar. The top's going in nicely, the bottom's a bit... Oh, that seems horrible. Oh. Right, how I did that, I don't know if you saw the angle, is these top bits... Let's try and get up there a bit. So these top bits, they're like almost like ears. Yeah. So them top bits went in, and then I had to almost pull this part of the dash downwards to get that to click in. But then it just all clicked in nicely, as you can see there. Right, so the next ones I was going to do are the ones that are on there. There you go in. So I did have this thought with Edward, my lad. He is only 9, and obviously he's grown up in a generation where YouTube has always existed, and everyone, like, he knows all about just YouTube and YouTube. He doesn't watch too much of it here, and I'm trying to explain to him that sometimes there's a lot of good stuff, lots of stuff to learn on YouTube, and there's also a lot of junk. Where's my other spanner gone? The socket. Well, that's inside. I'm just going to fetch that. So I'm hoping that he will start fixing cars with me one day, but because he's so young, I've never really bothered to try and do it. Well, not really bothered. I'm just rambling now. I always wanted to show him how to do things when he's ready to want to learn. Jessica actually helped me. My daughter, she's 7. She actually helped me to fix a brake on another Fiesta once. She helped me to get to. I had like a rear binding on a Fiesta, and ended up changing the little the little mini calipers you get in the back of the rear drums, and she helped me to replace one of those, and then I got through the MOT. Right, I'll just off camera by accident. Yeah, it's a T20s. I put those into the little places there. I'm not going to bother to carry on rambling away at this one. I've spent 13 minutes just putting this thing back together again. Problem solved, it seems. So there's 4 things to tighten, and then that clip that you can see on there, it will just clip down and straight in. So I'm going to give it a bit of a clean. I'm going to get my other socket, because I left that inside the house. That's it. So cost of 0. Hazards are back in the game. More to come on this car, because I've got other failures too. Some welding. It doesn't need to be pretty, but there's some welding to do. So hopefully I'll show you through that. See you in a bit.